This is the vibe I'm getting. Our next reader is someone who's so dear to us. Her debut novel, We Love You, Charlie Freeman, is remarkable. You can pick it up here. She's been published in places like the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Elle.com. We really don't deserve her, but she is our contributing writer, Kaitlyn Greenidge.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming tonight. And thank you to the readers who just went before this. Absolutely beautiful. Everyone has just really been really lovely. So I'm reading from my phone, which I always judge people for doing. And now it has come back on me. And I'm going to read from a short story that I wrote it came out maybe a year or so ago. I'm reading it in honor of Scorpio season. So Scorpio season started yesterday. Okay, all right, yes. I'm a Scorpio, sun sign, Gemini moon, Leo rising. And, okay, very good. Yeah, it's a weird combination, yeah. Hillary Clinton is also Scorpio. I feel like I understand her on a very deep level, a lot of her moves. And so this story is kind of a love letter to the intensity of being a Scorpio. When my mother found out I was going to marry you, she said, "A man like that, you'll always end up sleeping at his back. He'll never sleep at yours." And I was ashamed because how did she know it was already like that with you? That was how we slept every night together. Our first night, lying side by side, you slept with your smiling, open face to the wall, and I was the one who curved to your back, stuck too close for comfort. We met at a show, of course. I was there with my cousin Morris. He was trying to get into your band, and I stood up at the front of the crowd with him. He said Delmore's nickname is the Emperor of the Universe. And I laughed and said, "Who gave him that one? He make it up himself? I am the Queen of Sheba, if that's the case." And then you came out on the stage. You just started wearing the blue tux in the act. You stood at the front of the stage and looked down at the crowd. And after about the 4th or 5th song, you sang Only to Me. The hit, your only hit, had just come out. You sang it 10 times in a row, and each time you sang it, you made the words dirtier. I was a grown woman when we met, or at least I thought I was, but still the things you put in that song were so dirty they made me blush. To this day, I can't hear it on the radio without my face getting hot. The band at your funeral played it, and our youngest granddaughter, Isis, she danced to it, and it made me laugh, and it made me cry, and it made me blush all over again to see her in the middle of St. Claude Avenue, 4-year-old shoulders shaking to a love song. When my mother told me I would end up always sleeping at your back, I knew I had to prove her wrong. The hardest part about loving you was pretending I didn't care so much. So many girls cared about you. Before you married me proper in the house on Barrack Street, there lived Anita and Mary and Maureen. You knew enough not to mention their names and the other names to me, but I knew who they were. I saw them at the bar when we went out late at night. They would look at me, and then they would look at you with burned out eyes. They loved you so much it burned the life out of them, and who wants a woman like that? It scared you away from them to me. So I taught myself to keep my eyes cool, to look as if I didn't care so much, so you would love me best. All over town, you knew you'd get a warm welcome, but with me, you were never sure if I would grab your face and kiss your cheeks, or blow smoke in your ear and only half listen to your stories. When you'd come home from a long tour, I'd be sweet at first, maybe for an hour, maybe 2, just so you'd know what you were missing. But then it was work. Fix the porch, change the light bulb, play bass and sing at my mother's church because I'd already promised you would. I said, I don't care if you got hundreds of girls screaming your name 2 weeks straight. I said I didn't care if you lived your life away from me in a baby blue tuxedo with a fancy mustache. I said, all I care about is you being a good man to me, and I never let you see how surprised I was that you submitted, that you gladly submitted. You laughed and took off your tuxedo and put on work pants. I would have been so happy if you kept your tuxedo on forever, but you took it off for me. You fixed the porch. You took your bass and picked up every solo in my mother's choir. I wasn't in the habit of ever saying that I loved you. I said it to you only 3 times when we were married, the day each of our sons were born, though you told me you loved me often enough. And when I wouldn't say anything back, when I would just smile, you'd wink at me and call me a cold woman. Your family wasn't fooled. It's why they hated me. They saw through it and they were frightened. When you told your sister Betty you were going to marry me, she said it would end badly, that I loved you too fierce, that my kind of love is wrong. She said women like me ruin the things they love. They will draw the breath of life out of a man till his heart stops. And then when they're done, when they've ruined his very lungs, she said women like me go down one of 2 paths. They either get hysterical for what they've lost, flinch at the empty air around them, fall apart at the lightest touch, or they go the other way. They look at the love they've ruined and they become petrified, airless as a stone. Betty said, when it's all over, Delmore, when she's ruined the both of you, Lillian will go the hard way. Just you wait. You told Betty she was crazy, that she didn't know what she was talking about, and then you told me what she said. And I knew then that your family understood me perfectly. They recognized the darkest part of me, that I've got a weak and greedy heart. And because of this, I was ashamed. I decided then and there that your family was my enemy, and I had to get better at hiding my heart from you. I'm talking to you about my heart, but you know, if you cracked my chest open, where my heart should be, you'd find only a hungry mouth, tongue moving, teeth gnashing, ready to eat the world, and you who live in it. Nothing is ever enough for my heart. So our whole married life became me hiding my heart from you. I knew if you ever saw it for what it was, what it really was, the empty, gaping maw of it, you couldn't love me anymore. I tricked you into loving me best. And every night for the 30 years we were married, it was you who wound yourself around me, you who stayed close to my back. You fitted your chin into the hollow of my neck and put one arm around my hip, curled the other around my shoulder, held a loose fist over my lively, sleeping heart. Thanks.